Right, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Let's do this Bill Burr thing. The Bill Burr group. The people who secretly, all the Jews who secretly run the world belong to the Bill Burr group.
Of course they do.
It's known, it's documented, it's proven the Bill Burr group is trying to destroy our cities so they can become rebuilt in the eyes of George Soros and the other members of the Bill Burr group. I have good authority. Tom Segura is a member of the Bill Burr group, as well as Shane Gillis is a member of the Bill Burr group. All these people will be exposed in time. We will get all of these names out for you folks just as soon as we know for sure. But the Bill Burr group is here to destroy the republic that we've built, that my relatives fought and died for. Bill Burr is trying to destroy them with the Bill Burr group, and we won't let this stand. 1776 will commence again if you try to invade us with the Bill Burr group. I have a counteroffensive with the Louis C.K. group.
Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, I prefer. So, Bill Burr's wife, Nia Burr, which, did you know
Bill Burr.
Did you know that some people have even stated that they've mispronounced Bill Burr's name in reference to his wife, Nia? They've said that Bill's last name is Gurr, which is not true because her name is not Nia and her last name Gurr. That's wrong. That's not correct. It's
that would
Burr.
Be untoward of you.
So it would be Nia Burr.
Bill Gurr.
Bill Gurr. Yeah, that doesn't work quite as well. So Adam Simon says, settle down, Alex. When has that ever worked? Do you think in his last marriage, Alex's wife went, Alex, why don't you calm down? Do you think I can calm down when this country of ours, our great republic, which was fought for since 1776, is under attack by a bunch of goddamn Jews? You're like, Jesus, Alex, calm down.
A bunch of goddamn Jews.
Alex, you can't. I'm pretty sure you can't say goddamn Jews.
No.
Can you say, I love the goddamn Jews? Is that something you're allowed to say?
It is now.
I love those cocksucking Jews, man. They are my favorite.
Yeah, why can't, as long as it's complimentary in the end.
I tell you,
in the end, it doesn't even matter.
All those motherfucking Jews, I love them. I think you're allowed to say that. I think so. Like, look, the point is the Bill Burr group is here to destroy America. It's here to take us all, and the only people who can save us is me and the Louis C.K. group. That's it. Hobo Chili says you are allowed to say Jews rock. That's right. We can sing Jews rock.
Jews rock. That's
Jews
a real
rock.
Song.
Jews rock. There you go.
Thank you, Sam.
So Bill Burr finally talked about the Nia Burr UFC incident, and I got to be honest, I got to walk back some of my Bill Burr criticism. Although I don't think I really heavily criticized Bill. I'd have to go back and listen.
I think we did when he was in the car. Remember the car clip?
No.
He was talking about like hatred that his wife gets or something like that while he was in the car in traffic.
I'm talking about the UFC thing.
No, our criticisms of him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're making a joke about the N-word. I see what you did there. But no, in all honesty too, and in all honesty as well at the same time, the Bill Burr, Nia Burr thing, my whole thing was, God, how fucking embarrassing for Bill. His wife just going out and humiliating him in public. But you know what? Bill Burr, I know people are so hell-bent on just hating someone once the internet loves somebody and then they hate them. It's like they're scorned lovers and they'll never see anything positive about that person again. But Bill Burr, to me, he kind of fills a Bill Maher type space for me, where I'll always think he's funny and he's a talented guy.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes he'll say and do things now that annoy the shit out of me. But he does that more now than he used to. And you can blame it on many number of things, but he's still, at the end of the day, a funny guy. And if you can take a situation like the UFC thing, he raises a good point in that, and I don't think we did this, but a lot of people took it personally, like it was something, like Nia Burr did something to them. My take on it was, how embarrassing, what a cringe thing to do. It's such a middle schooler when the teacher's back is turned. Yeah, it's so lame.
It was very childish.
Right, that was my only thing, and then we made fun of it. Bill Burr with a good take here on Rich Eisen's show last week.
Okay.
On the whole Nia Burr thing, and I wanted to follow up with this. He's going to start with some Patriots talk, But don't worry, Rich Eisen asks him a brilliant question, and it goes off to where we need it to go.
Big boy stuff, but don't come back and start crying.
Bill Burr here on the Rich Eisen Show. I love
That's like those Trump guys. They're always going like, you snowflakes, F your feelings and all of that. And then you make fun of Trump. They're like, oh, my God, it's so disrespectful.
It's not wrong. That's one thing that stops me from being like a Trump guy is the people who follow him are such hypocrites. They'll be like, oh, you're so sensitive. Oh, you're so this, you're so that. And then you're like, yeah, Trump's kind of a douche sometimes too, though. And they're like, well, what do you fucking not like the president? He's fighting for our country. It's like, I thought we weren't supposed to get sensitive at words.
I like that I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I'm definitely a Trump guy, but I can also like acknowledge that he's a giant douchebag sometimes.
Dude, the only times, like,
He's
my
definitely an ass.
only reason for saying that I'll vote for Trump this time again is because of my other options.
Yeah.
Like, every time I voted for Trump, it's because the other options were like, oh, I have to choose between this buffoon or like a truly evil person.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
You're gonna tell me you're going to vote Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump.
Right, like all of these New World Order, blood stain on their hands, fucking wars out the ass, murdering people. I have to either choose them or a guy who says mean things sometimes. A guy who called Rosie O'Donnell a pig, which, by the way, I don't disagree with.
Prove him wrong.
Right. Fact check him.
Do the work.
We did a fact. That would be funny to see NBC like do a fact check, and they're like, we did find out that Rosie O'Donnell is what the BMI index would call obese. Therefore, Donald Trump's classification of her as a fat pig, we classified it as mostly true, seeing as we did test her DNA, and she is not a familial match with an actual pig. That's the only part that was not true.
She's not a swine.
But Bill's right. You know, that a lot of the diehard Trump people are like, fuck your feelings, words don't matter. And then it's like, yeah, I think Trump's kind of an asshole. What are you talking about? You hate this country? All right. Sorry.
You should, if you're a Trump guy and you hear somebody say, oh, Trump's an asshole, like, yeah, good.
Yeah, isn't that why you like him?
Isn't that why you like him? That's part of the reason I like him.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
It's like you're saying F Joe Biden. It's like you can't have it both ways. So that's my thing as a Pats fan, okay?
Yeah.
It's just like if you're doing it too, quit your crying. Quit your crying. I mean, you know.
How's your wife's hands doing?
That's a great. I love the pivot there by Rich.
You know.
How's your wife's hands doing these days?
Oh, they're fantastic. I love my wife. You know where you stand with her. Okay? The guy walked in the arena. Everybody cheered. She gave him the finger. Nobody got arrested. That's why this country's great. Everybody expressed themselves. Can we all be adults?
I mean,
true.
He's not wrong, but also you can't do that and then say, can we all be adults? I mean,
no.
When he walks in and everyone's cheering, you go, that's not the most grown-up move in the world.
Yeah, the two things are very different. Like a former president walks in and the whole room cheers. That seems respectful.
But still, he's right in that, like, look, she got to express herself. Trump got big cheers. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Now, like, there were two, I always find myself in the least defensible position on these things because the internet in general is about grab onto this side, defend it to the death, this and that. And I always, I like nuance. And my nuance is, hey, it's funny that she did that. It's also funny that she looks like a little child sitting there going, I don't like Donald Trump.
While he's not looking.
I found the whole thing funny. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very childish. But yeah, Bill's right. There were a lot of people. In fact, on our video that did thousands of views that we did coverage on it, of the Bill Burr Nia Burr thing, I had people in my comments going like, oh, you're so sensitive about her giving him the finger, or other people going, oh, it is a big deal because you shouldn't disrespect him. Like, there were still people getting angry at my take from both sides. And usually when I get that, I go, okay, I did it right.
Right. I threaded that needle just perfectly.
If all of these angry lunatics on both sides are mad at me, I'm very happy with where I am because I don't want to be in the shouting mob of lunatics.
I picture you menacingly going through comments on your phone, just evil laughing.
I fight the urge to taunt and comment back to some of these people. I just fight the urge to go haha, gotcha. That.
You almost deserve a reward for that. Or
Thank
an
you.
award, excuse me.
Trianal?
No.
Oh,
God,
almost got her.
Nobody can do
Almost
dry.
got her.
Stop it.
I don't know about you, but I came there to go to the fights. I didn't know I was going to the Republican National Convention. My favorite thing was when Trump was going, thank you. Thank you. You know what it reminded me of? When OJ got acquitted. Remember that? When he's going, thank you. Like, I can't believe I'm getting off of this. Thank you. Thank you. He's another guy. Donald Trump. He's getting the Michigan treatment. Do you know how many people you could accuse of that, falsifying your assets for what they're really worth?
Right.
Like, how come they're not going after the banks?
Right.
Yeah. See, now, Bill's always done this, too. Like, Bill's always been very fair to Trump. There's a thing where, like, Conan O'Brien's losing his mind about Donald Trump winning the election, and Bill's like, you're going to be fine. He's like, are you going to stop making sandwiches because Trump won? Are you going to stop, feeding your family? He goes, no, you're going to keep doing that.
Well, and I've had the same point he just made so many times with like family, friends, and all that. Like, dude, if you're going to look into him and charge him with this shit,
right?
Start on the rest of government. See where
like,
it goes.
It's like one guy on one team and the refs started calling a penalty that's been on the books for years, but they've never called it before.
Never.
And it's like, this seems targeted. And they're like, well, it is a rule. You're like, no. I know it's a rule. But this is the first time you've ever enforced the rule.
Right, it's never been applied before.
Yeah.
So
They're really worth?
Right.
Like, how come they're not going after the banks? I can just walk into a bank and be like, my house is worth $5 trillion. Can I have a $30 million loan? Okay.
My only pushback on that story is you said your wife gave him the finger. It was more than one, I think I saw, right?
It was dual.
It was.
It was dual. We'll have to go to New York for the tape and take 10 minutes. Yeah.
After further review.
No, she's hilarious.
So
dueling fingers.
I love his reaction to it because it's so anti what everyone wants him to do.
Yeah, he didn't sit there and stroke his wife's dick.
Right. He just
Or
said, yeah.
Trump's.
She's like, yeah, he came in, she gave him the finger. Who gives a shit?
That
Like
is
that-
kind of the right take.
Bill Burr is, I think what I like about Bill still, is that he doesn't give you the response you want. And I think that's all the internet people who got mad at him. They want him to have the response that they want him to have, and he never gives that to them. And I think that makes them mad. If there's one thing we've kind of cracked the code on with the internet types, it's that when you don't dance to their tune, they get really mad and shout worse things at you. And that's kind of how you know that you like a fish, you've got them on the hook. And that's what Bill's got right now. She gave Trump the finger. It did not affect their life in the least.
No.
Still, again, it was really cringe and douchey that she did that. Like, what the fuck? But like Bill's response to it, which is, who gives a shit? He came in, she gave him the finger. He got a lot of cheers. Everybody wins. And it's so, I can tell that there's people being very unsatisfied about Bill's response and then raging harder at him.
Yeah, but then you always ask yourself, well, what did you want him to say?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what I would have wanted him to say besides what he said.
Yeah. And again, Bill didn't do anything. His wife did something. And there's all these people on the internet going, why didn't Bill control his woman? It's like, do you? Like, Mr. Talking Tough and all that? Do you keep your bitch in line, bro? Do you? Scouts Honor with 199 says, thinking about rubbing April's back and front. Take it easy. Now, if I see ya, I got to punch you in the mouth for that.
No boners.
I don't want to.
No boners before 8.
Yeah, no boners. We're trying to go as boner free for as long as possible. However, we did have all that butthole talk earlier.
That's true. You did really prime him for it.
Freedom's Lunch says, I'd want him not to straw man half the fucking country. Fuck that guy. Now, in fairness, he is a comedian. He's not Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
He's not Hannity or Tucker or any of these guys. He's a comic.
Exactly.
Talking shit on a sports show.
You're not supposed to go to an entertainer for the hot takes of the world.
Right.
Right? Well, technically, yes, but in a comedic sense. He's supposed to take those things and make light of them.
Yeah. Union Jack says, I remember you were really annoyed with his wife at the time you went over this. It was annoying. It was an obnoxious, cunty, little kid thing to do. But Bill Burr didn't do it. His wife did.
Yeah.
It seems like he's totally fine with it and he doesn't give a shit. You know what it is? Bill's used to her doing shit like this. Mm-hmm. So he's just kind of like, yeah, that's her. People were like, they were coming for Bill like he was a battered woman. Like, oh, man, you got to cut her loose. You got to. You don't think she's done shit like this before in public? And he does. It's like they're trying to get him to realize what his wife is years and years after he met her, knows what she is clearly fine with it, and married her.
He's probably learned too that it's not worth his time or effort to try to address something like that with her.
Right.
I'm sure that he's done that before. I'm like, hey, could you not embarrass us like that? And it's probably not ended well for him.
No, I bet he hasn't. I bet he
he did
done that.
once.
I bet what he does in times like that, and he's like, not my pig, not my farm. He didn't give a shit.
Nah, I bet he's tried it once. And
Freedom's Lunch says, we are all sick of these people. Our patience is over. No mercy, no quarter given. Burr can fuck himself with his own labradoodle. See, that's where I'm confused. What did he do? I don't know why he can go fuck himself.
If you're looking at it from Freedom's Lunch's view, I'm guessing it's because he's not denouncing what his wife did.
He doesn't care.
I don't care.
He doesn't care that she did it, clearly.
Right, but that's what Freedom's Lunch doesn't like.
I'll say what I said the first time. What she did came off as really kind of cringe and douchey.
Mm-hmm.
But his response to it for me was he threaded the needle, I think, in the best way possible. He made a joke about it. He said it's no big deal. He said, hey, the president got a standing ovation. She gave a couple of fingers. Who gives a shit? Can we all be adults? Like, his take on it is, I think, pretty good.
I liked his take on it. I just imagine that there's people out there that don't like that he's fine with it. People don't like an indifferent take.
Right. They want them here.
They want to pick a side.
Let's break it down. Here's what people are mad at Bill Burr about. They want him to agree with them.
Yeah.
That's the internet. They want the famous guy, to validate their opinion by making it theirs.
Yep.
Don't put so much stock in what these people think, guys, and you'll be fine. Flashed Coffee says, so do people react differently if Nia flipped off Joe Biden? Yes, of course. The people who are outraged now would not be outraged if she did it to him. They'd think it's funny. They'd put her up on their shoulders and think she was the coolest. And the people who think she's the coolest now, they would be angry at her and think she's the most terrible person on earth. That's how it works now in America.